Hello Taurus, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Taurus is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Taurus, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And the Fool card as our first card. I feel like you're somebody who is in need of direction, you know. I feel like you have a certain lightness about you. You have a certain sort of freedom in your life, but I feel as if what you might be looking for, what you might really need right now, is something to sort of attach yourself to. Okay, a purpose, a sense of destiny, right? Having something that is steady in your life, really committing to something, okay? I feel like you're somebody who has probably had a lot of jobs in your life that you've had trouble finding something that really grips you, that really speaks to you, that makes you want to commit and stick around and show up every single day, you know, and do the work, you know. So I feel that you've gone through maybe a lot of relationships, a lot of jobs, a lot of living situations, because you understand when something doesn't feel right or when something doesn't fit. You get up and you move. You don't stick with something. You don't cling to something that you know is not meant for you. It's a very positive quality. It may appear from the outside that you sort of bounce from one thing to the other, like the Fool might in its wanderings through the tarot. But there's a good reason for that, because you're on a quest. You're on a journey to find that which is meant for you, to find the thing, the job, the person, the place, the purpose, the idea, the love, whatever it is, all of these things, to find where you really belong, to stop the wandering, to stop the questing, and to arrive home. Yeah, that's the Fool's journey, is to really find yourself and bring it back home, you know. The Fool's on the journey to discover who you are and why you're here. Okay? So it may seem like you've kind of gone through a lot of these jobs or a lot of these relationships, romantic and platonic and, you know, different things. I feel like you've even, you've tried a lot of different spiritual paths. Yeah. I feel like you've tried a lot of different, like these diets, you know, like I'm kind of doing this Mediterranean diet thing now. I feel like you've kind of experimented with a lot of different things in this quest to find that which really resonates with you. Okay? I think it's been maybe a long journey. Let's see what else is going on. Let's put this into some context. We need some more cards. We've got the Queen of Pentacles looking at the past, right? We've got the Adjustment card. We've got the Two of Wands, and Eight of Wands, and the Lust or Strength card. A lot of, see, it's kind of a growing fire that we see here, 2, 8, and 5, and then into that Leo energy, right? Just that, this big bonfire here. It starts as a little spark, becomes a flame, and then becomes that raging bonfire here. We've got the Devil card, the 7. Yeah, 7 of Wands makes sense here too. 5 of Cups certainly does, and the 5 of Wands as well. I feel like the difficulty is going to be for you adjusting to this different sort of lifestyle, right? Because if the Fool is so used to wandering around and having these adventures and kind of going from one thing to the other thing to the other thing to the other thing, as the Spirit sort of moves you, right? It's difficult to shift from that to then finding that thing that's meant for you and staying there long term. Okay, think of somebody who's like a traveling salesman, and then I'm kind of reminded of Packer from The Office, right? And kind of an outside salesperson now coming and working in-house. You know, it's an adjustment, it's a shift. It takes some time to get used to that. Okay, but I feel like what's going on here is that you're finding a kind of success. You're finding a kind of connection or resonance in your life that really sticks, and you're really going to want to stay with this thing and commit to it, whether it's a job, a school, a career path, a relationship, whatever it is. You're finding what you're looking for, but it's going to be difficult to adjust to doing just that. Okay? Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown, and we're going to set it down over here. We're going to put Mr. Tao, the yin-yang duck, right on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together and it will give us the confirmation that we need. If at any point during the reading you feel like you know what that card is, I want you to put your prediction in the comments. We should exercise our intuition as often as we can. Okay, let's take a look around the room. We have our major arcana energies here, a nice cluster of major arcana energy. And we have the Fool on that wandering journey. The Fool, nothing sticks. The Fool does not really become too entangled in anything. It's very temporary. The Fool is very fleeting energy. And the Fool kind of goes, in this case with the Lust card, it goes where there is the most sort of excitement, the most passion. It goes where it feels right. It feels drawn to something here, and so it goes that way. The two cards we have underneath with this adjustment card, this is about kind of a formal agree. This is a decision. This is an official thing that says, I'm going to stay here. I'm no longer the sort of the temporary employee. Now I am agreeing to be a permanent employee full-time, right? And of course, the Devil card is the energy that we need, the drive that we need to get through the difficulties of what that really is. I think the heart and the mind, and really the kind of just the nervous energy is going to really take some time to adjust to this new commitment. Okay, it's kind of like, for instance, for me, this Mediterranean diet, right? Lots of tomatoes, lots of fish and vegetables, and all this stuff like that. It's something I know is good for me. I know I'm meant to do that. I'm Greek by heritage, you know, so I'm kind of built for that in a way. And so I know it's something that I absolutely want to do. But in practice, as I'm climbing those mountains every day, it's very hard for me not to go back to the other foods that I like, you know. It's an adjustment. And just because in that moment I'm struggling with, well, I really want to have some ice cream or a hamburger or something, but I'm trying to stick to my decision. I'm trying to stick to my commitment because I know it makes me feel good, it's healthier, and it's easy for me to digest, all these reasons, right? I know it's right for me, but in the moment it's very hard to do it. Okay? Doesn't mean just because it's hard, just because it's difficult, doesn't mean that it's not good for you, right? Just because it doesn't feel good in the moment, having to say no to the hamburger, doesn't mean that it's not really the right thing for you. Okay, and I don't know exactly what we're talking about, if this is a work thing, if this is school, if this is career choices. But We've got our major arcana. We've got fire, 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 fire. A lot of fire. Okay, a lot of fire. And I think that this new commitment of yours, I think that it is something that is going to at the same time energize you and increase your vital energy, but it's also, it kind of feels like it's giving you so much of this energy, of this enthusiasm, that it's making it hard for you to sit in your chair. You want to get up and move around. You want to get out and go do what the fool does, you know? So it's kind of a weird paradox. Yeah. A lot of fire energy, anyway. What we don't have really, though, is the air energy. We do in the sense of the Fool, which is pure air, and the Libra energy here with the Adjustment card. The Fool has 0 attachments, 0 commitments, 0 obligations, 0 responsibilities, 0 self-consciousness, 0 awareness. The Adjustment card is the exact opposite, is officially attached to something, is like married to something, has signed the contract. Okay? Very different energies. And it's going to be difficult for you to adjust. It's not just an overnight thing that we've been the Fool for so long, suddenly now we're the Adjustment energy, and you know, it's not going to be such an easy adjustment. It's going to require some adjustment, right? So we've got a little bit of that air energy. We've got a little bit of water, not very much at all. And we've got a little bit of the earth energy. It's mostly major arcana and fire. Okay? This is something that you are absolutely enthralled by. This is something that lights you up, and you want to commit to this for the rest of your lives. Like, it feels that intense for you. That intensity is going to change its flavor as you go. Because all that fire, which starts as excitement, enthusiasm, is going to become kind of like pressure. It's going to become a battle. It's going to become a fight for you to stick with it. But stick with it. Okay? Let's talk about the Queen of Pentacles right here in the middle. This is the card that's always looking at the past. This is the energy that is kind of looking back really at the Two of Wands, right? The Queen of Pentacles is always looking at that long and winding road that it took to get right here, right now. How did you end up where you are? In this sort of, this in-between sort of energy, this Fool energy, you know? What sort of things have you done? Which sort of things have you experimented with? What are the trends of your past? Okay? Is there a thread that's sort of tracing its way back from some unknown place to where you are right now? So in other words, the choices that you've made in your life, what do they all have in common? What are they all telling you? What is the wisdom that you can distill from all the choices that you've made? If this is something career, if this is something romantic, if this is something with friends or religious affiliation or whatever. In that area, what do all your past choices and decisions reveal to you? What is the wisdom that you can distill from that past, from that path, right? Because that's what we need right now to show us the way forward and to confirm for us what's coming next. Okay? Now, we talked a little bit about the Libra energy, the Adjustment card, the fact that literally it's going to be a big adjustment for you, going from kind of being an outdoor cat to an indoor cat. Okay? I feel like there's some connection with a father figure here too for you. I don't know if your father is in spirit or if your father's still with you, but I'm getting like this father energy that's coming through. And I don't know if your dad kind of had a similar energy, if your dad was kind of the exact opposite. I kind of feel like dad was the opposite, and I'm kind of there was something about the face, I guess, or the hair maybe for dad. Something distinguishing on the face or, the head area. But I feel like Dad is the type of person that stuck with one thing for their whole life. And was, maybe didn't say this, but was kind of miserable. Kind of just felt like that's what you do. You pick something, you stick with it, that's it for the rest of your life, no matter how hard it gets, right? No matter kind of what things are happening in the unconscious, what the emotional strivings are, none of that. Nope. You commit to something and you stick with it for your entire life. Okay? I kind of feel like that's how Dad was. Being a T name for Dad. I don't know, first or last initial with a T, yeah. But I kind of think that's maybe why you went a different direction with your life. Makes sense, right? In the previous position here, the kind of past energy, we see that Two of Wands, and I feel like that's kind of a fundamental conflict. It's almost like we're fighting against something. It's like we don't want to become like that. We don't want to stick with one thing for 30 years and hate it. We'd rather go searching from one thing to the other thing. Spend some time here, you don't like it, you get on a bus, you go somewhere else, you try it there. Okay? Because we don't want to get stuck in that situation where we don't find fulfillment. And I'm not saying this about your dad or anything, but I feel that this is kind of your rebellion against that potential of being stuck in something forever and not really enjoying it, not having the satisfaction or the fulfillment that you want, that you need, that your soul needs, right? That is kind of your birthright, you know? So I also feel that the Two of Wands, as far as what the Queen of Pentacles is looking at, these are all your past decisions. You had all kind of similar type of jobs or similar type of relationship, romantic partners. There's been a trend, and they've all sort of looked the same in a way, right? Like for me, all my jobs in the past, they always somehow, for some reason, they always involve driving. I don't know why. Every job I'd have, suddenly there's just like, we need you to drive, you know? Until then I just started looking for jobs where I could drive all day. And then I had a driving job that I did for literally 15 years after that before I quit that just a few months ago to do tarot full time, okay? And it's an adjustment, okay? And I feel it's the same thing for you. I feel like you've gone through similar versions of the same kind of thing, but now you're committing to something that you know is where you're supposed to be. You know you're in the right place, but it's an adjustment, okay? It takes some getting used to. There are days where I wish I could just sort of wake up and get in the car and go drive for my paycheck and come back home and be done, you know? Whereas running a YouTube thing is a full-time job. It's 24/7, you know? Ask my wife, you know. Lenore, she does tea leaf readings. She's over at Ula Tea Leaf Readings here on YouTube. She does her own channel, and she's 24/7 too. So it's an adjustment, you know. But this is what I feel you're being led to. This is what, maybe it's a YouTube channel. It could very well be. I hope it is. But you can see the trend of things in your past and how they've led up to this moment. Okay, there's been some common theme running through it, okay? But the Eight of Wands at the top of the path of the dove, it's as you're committing to this new thing, I feel like there's going to be some restless energy, okay? But this is also kind of the card of scattered energies. The Eight of Wands in the Thoth Tarot deck always reminds me of some fireworks, a burst of light and sound, right? And it just sort of happens, it scatters, and then it's done. Right? There's really no direction to it. It's fun to look at for a second, and then it goes away. I feel like this is kind of the transient nature of your of your enthusiasm and your excitement about the things that you've done in the past. You'll get with something, you'll start a new job, it feels really fun at first, but it really fizzles out quick. Because you realize, it's just not for me. It's not meant for me. Or this relationship, or this study in school, or this major at university, or whatever. Sometimes I feel like you're spreading yourself too thin. With this card, I feel that you're dabbling in too many different things at once. Okay? Because sometimes the energy that we spend dabbling in many, many things would be more than enough energy to really succeed at one or two or three things. You see? We can focus that energy, and that's why I like the 8 of Wands in the Rider-Waite-Smith, which shows 8 wands, 8 javelins, 8 tree branches, right? All going in the same direction, like that, right? Rather than all kind of scattered, dissipating the energy. We focus the energy, and it's enough to really achieve satisfaction and really achieve success. The success that sticks, the enthusiasm that sticks, and that's what we see here in the future position. We see that lust or strength card. This is not just fiery energy. This is that lust, that passion, that enthusiasm that does not go away, right? That stays. It sticks. Okay? This is a success. This is an enthusiasm. This is a love and a passion and an excitement that does not wane. Yeah, it does not wane. So you're finding this for yourself. You're finding, the Fool is finding this absolute passionate thing. The thing that you cannot live without, that will not wane, that will not go anywhere. Okay? But what is it? You know, I feel it's something creative. With all this fire energy, it is definitely creative. It's something that is kind of, now I don't say creative in a traditional way. I don't know if you're going to be a painter or whatever. I feel like it's something that is, it's going to require you to kind of, to think and act spontaneously in the moment, snap decisions, really, you know, to really sort of improvise and figure things out as you go. It even feels like it could be something like law enforcement or medical services or something like that, you know, where it's just you're in this sort of excitement, you're in this very active energy, and you've got to make some really quick decisions, right? That you've got to just sort of, you've got to allow it to flow. You got to have the confidence. With this lust or strength card, a lot of confidence here. Confidence that you can make those right decisions, that you can allow your sort of your body to react in the right way to do what needs to be done, right? So this is even something here. There's no air energy, right? So it's not really about you calculating. It's about you just sort of responding to a situation in a very spontaneous way. Right, which is a lot of fire. It's just being led by pure consciousness here. And so it feels very creative to me. Right? I mean, I guess it could be music, it could be any kind of art, really, a traditional kind of art thing. Or it could be something that's more, I don't want to say practical, but more, you know, like I said, kind of law enforcement or medical services, right? Something kind of frontline kind of stuff. Okay. Let's move over to the Path of the Serpent. As we do these cards here, I would like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It's totally free. It supports the channel, and I appreciate that. Let's talk about this Devil card down here. Now, this could be something in food service too. I don't know who, if you or someone in your family has some sort of connection with food service. That can be a very sort of high energy type of career as well, right? Now, this doesn't have to be career. Again, this could be something that is strictly a spiritual or a creative kind of commitment. It could be a family. It could be It could be a romantic sort of thing. We could be talking about your romantic relationships too. Okay. And of course, the lust card takes on a brand new meaning in that case, which is, a passion between the two of you that does not wane, that gets stronger as time goes on. Okay, that you do not lose interest in the person after a few months or whatever, right? That it stays strong. Yeah. Okay, so our devil energy, general energy. You've kind of been doing life solo, it feels like. Yeah. It feels like sometimes this, I feel like you like spending a time alone. Okay. I feel like you have, I feel like you have sometimes a better experience of life when it's just you, rather than worrying about how other people are doing or having to be under the scrutiny of other people. I feel like you don't talk a lot. Yeah. I do feel like there was some gift of money that transpired at some point in the recent past. I don't know if maybe for your birthday or something you got like some money. I don't feel like it was a birthday thing though. I feel like there's like there's like an envelope full of money that's just kind of like here, I don't know if somebody gave you a gift to kind of help out with school or with some kind of training or funded a vacation or something like this, right? But I kind of feel that money was put toward you doing something by yourself. Right? It was something just kind of for you to either go somewhere or to do something kind of unique. Yeah. Interesting, yeah. I feel like you do a lot of creative writing as well. Okay. And that's something that we kind of do by ourselves. That's a very kind of solitary thing. I think you have a lot of these little things that you like to do that you do alone. I think you go eat by yourself. I think you like to go for walks by yourself. I think you like to go and listen to music. It's that kind of experience that you like, and I feel that we don't always want someone around because we don't want to. I don't know not that we don't want to have to worry about somebody else, or we don't have to make sure that the other person's having a good time, But I feel that having that other person there puts a sort of responsibility on you where you can't fully experience the moment. That makes sense. But anyway, the goat is that energy that is perfectly capable of climbing the mountain. So when we talk about you kind of going from one situation to another, to another, to another, it's not because you don't have the ability to go all the way. But it's because we've got this energy and you're climbing the mountain, and then you kind of think, well, maybe it's not the right mountain. And then the goat kind of gets bored, starts eating some grass or whatever, and then just goes down, and we start looking for another mountain. You've got a ton of energy. You could climb the mountain all day. But if it's not the right mountain, I think that goat kind of gets a little distracted, a little bored, and we start to think, maybe this isn't the right mountain for me. You've got plenty of capability, It just has to be the right thing. If it doesn't feel like the right thing, you're going to go try the other mountain, And we see that with the Five of Cups too. But first, you've got to go through the Seven of Wands in the position of the environment, the position of your relationships. Okay. I feel like you do have friends, you do have family, but I feel that there is just some kind of a discord with everybody where you would rather just sort of be by yourself. And I don't know if there's a frustration in you that when you get with other people. Maybe there's kind of a conversation that happens, or we feel as if we're kind of under some scrutiny. But it kind of seems to me that there's been more conflict in your life lately. Not big stuff, just like bickering, just like kind of getting on other people's, getting on their nerves. They're getting on your nerves, and it's just kind of, I don't know. I feel like other people are kind of just rubbing you the wrong way right now. I have that feeling like when you're uncomfortable in your own skin. You ever feel that way? I kind of feel that's what it's like when you're around too many people right now. Okay? The Seven of Wands is also kind of the idea that it might be time to, well, I think it is time by the rest of these cards, that it's time to kind of come in from the cold, you know. It's time to come and be an inside cat, you know, that it's time to kind of stop this questing, okay, because this kind of a quest that we're talking about can be never ending. And that's the Seven of Wands. It's kind of like we're going to keep fighting no matter what. It's a never-ending battle. We have to make the choice to put the weapons down, put the tools down, you know? Otherwise, it's just going to go on perpetually. And there's never going to be an end to this. So there has to be a choice here somewhere, which I think is coming down with this adjustment card because there's no other air energy. But as long as we feel that Five of Cups, we're going to keep fighting. We're going to keep climbing other mountains. Okay? The Five of Cups is that feeling of something's not right here. You get halfway up the mountain, sure, you can climb all the way to the top and down the other side if you want. You've got the energy for it. You got the strength. You're capable of it. But something doesn't feel right. Something's off. Nope, this isn't the right mountain for me. You know, and so we keep searching. And that's the obstacle for you, I think, is getting to a certain point and then feeling like, no, something doesn't feel right. I think there's something else going on with you. Okay. The Five of Wands that we see in the kind of final outcome position, I think is you slowing down a little bit on the fight. Okay, it's a card of fight. This is a card of strife, of fighting, of battling, of like, you know, of wrestling with something. And I think as you find yourself in this new commitment that feels like it could really be the one that we want to commit to, that feels right in every other sense, it's going to require you to kind of restrain yourself. Because there will come a point again where you'll feel like, something's not right, maybe I should go to a different mountain, you know. We've got to try to restrain that because in some ways there are no other mountains. It's always the same mountain. It may just look differently, but it's the same mountain. Maybe we're on just a different side of it or something, right? So I think that it's not an easy adjustment for you, but it's a necessary one. Okay, let's look at the mystery card. Let's get some confirmation. I would really love to see something else here. Some good water energy I would love to see. Maybe some really good air energy, but it's just a lot of fire and it's kind of exhausting, you know. So put your prediction in the comments. We're going to take a look. Two of Swords. Good. At least some peace. All right. Peace of mind. This is, I think, going through this feeling, this Five of Cups feeling that something's not right, something doesn't feel good about this path, maybe I should leave, go find. Stop, right? That this is that sign of stop the intellect from then kind of kicking into gear and sort of making the decision to switch mountains, right? This is a card that is advising you to trust your intuition, but be able to discern your intuition from that Five of Cups feeling that, oh, something's not right, I better run. Something's not right, I better go to a different mountain now. That's not intuition, that's something else. I don't know what that is. That's something else. The intuition is that part of you that says, this is the spiritual path, this is my destiny, this is the one. But if it's the one, why do I feel that uneasiness in my heart that's kind of telling me to run for another mountain, right? That's a conversation that we don't want to have because the mind will try to find ways to convince you that not to do the difficult thing. It's easier just to go to a different mountain. And it seems like you always get to a certain part of the mountain and then that feeling kicks in and then we go down, we go look for something else. Okay. So if we start to have that conversation with ourselves, the mind will convince you that it should do the easier thing, that you should do the easier thing. The easier thing would be to go down and find a different mountain rather than to push past this point. Okay? We've got to trust that higher intuition, that spiritual energy, and not the heart and mind right now. Okay. Anyway, we're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, there is a link up top. There's one down below. New readings for Taurus are on Mondays and Fridays. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free. And leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.